Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, Vanity back in another card fight Vanguard as in the Vanity weekly video. So you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and sponsor, shall we? This time we are covering a lot more reveals. I believe this is going to be the end of the set 6 reveals because it releases this week for Japan. So I assume we're getting our last few reveals today. Otherwise, we are probably going to get them after I do this video, and then I won't have them. So we'll see where this goes. So let's go ahead and get this started, shall we? Because we got a nice few reviews from Lyrica, and then we have some interesting reveals from set 6 that I kind of 50-50 on. So first up we have Especial Days Faustina, grade 205k shield, 8k base, auto rear. When she attacks, this unit gets plus 2k for each of your other units to end the battle. Cool. So in just a Lyrica deck that is not pumped up by any premium shit at all, she's a 18k swinger. That's good. On her own, she's an 18k swinger for free. I like that. That's a nice skill. Works good for Kari. Actually, it just works good for everyone. It's very generic support. I like it. Nice Lyrica support card. Probably a 3 of in the decks that focus more on rear guards. Otherwise, maybe she's a 1 of or 2 of tech just because she's that good. Then we have Rain Resembles a Maiden's Heart Lizley. Okay, interesting choice of name. Grade 3 200 persona, 13k base, continuous rear guard. If you played in normal order this turn, she gets boost. So we have support for Alisteal. We have, wait, no, Alisteal doesn't have no more, never mind. We have support for Willista. We have support for, trying to think about the other one that has an order is, what's the other deck that has an order? Oh, Dragon Girls, and those are the only 2 I can think of that actually have normal orders that you would use. I mean, we can also talk about like that Sweet X Sweet thing, so yeah, pretty much a good card just for any deck if you run that Sweet X Sweet cards because it's a free boost 13k base. So all around, I like her. She's an interesting grade 3. Probably not something I would run, but maybe 2 of you if you choose to run her, or 1 of tech. Then we have Prayer That Carries Onwards. So, grade 2 normal order, play it by counterblasting 1 and discarding a hand card. Choose up to 2 cross-dress units from your drop zone, put them to your hand. I've said it before and I'll say it again. My issue with cross-dress never once has been getting cross-dresses into my hand. The issue has been what was it called? The issue has been getting multiple Trickstars onto my board, so or getting a second Trickstar specifically, so I can have 2 rear guards in cross-dress. It has never been the case of having problems with cross-dress. And for those of you that run draw engines in cross-dress for whatever reason, and y'all are struggling with it, clearly mine is better if that's the case, if you're struggling with it and you're running draw engines. Because I don't have draw engines outside of draw triggers, and Burmata, but Burmata is like a 50-50 of going off, and I'm still seeing a bunch of cross-dresses. So, you know, if you're having problems and you're draw, and you have a bunch of draw cards, and I'm not having problems, and I barely run draw cards that I even use, then clearly one of us is better than the other. So yeah, Prayers That Carry Onwards is a nice order. It does help you if you happen to run through all your cross dresses, yes, but at that point you've pretty much already lost, and you probably don't have enough counterblast or hand cards to make it worth getting the cross dress back. So like 50-50, I'm like 1 of tech at most. And we have Slash Equipped Dragon Armadios, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Obviously, he's a prayer dragon. Although, when he becomes a original dress, counterblast 1, its outer dress gets plus 10 for the turn. Okay, so let me get this straight. That grade 2 that basically gave plus 10 to Vairina has now become this thing, except it's a counterblast to do so. Okay, so I already knocked this because it's a counterblast, and because I don't have problems getting my cross dresses to hand. This plus 10. Yeah, that's good, but like I already like my deck's ratio of only having 2 counterblasters, one being Nirvana, the other one being Brahmata, so yeah, no. Like if you want to run this for the more numbers, you definitely can, but like remember, it's only for the turn thing, and unless you plan on killing your opponent on that turn, and typically it's the first grade 3 turn that is the easiest to kill someone on with that deck, at least from how I see it. Unless you plan on killing them that turn, and that would involve you using 2 counterblast, by the way, 1 for Nirvana, 1 for this thing, then don't bother running this. If you do plan on killing them on first grade 3 turn, then probably use that at 2 of maybe, just because it's a prayer dragon, but otherwise not really looking forward to using this. Then we have Shield Equipped Dragon Bilskil. I hate this card. I looked at its art when you used it in the anime, and I was like, fuck yeah, I can't wait to run that. That thing looks so amazing. And I still think its art looks amazing, but its skill is not worth running it for. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto, when this card's outer dress is retired from rear or guard circle, during your opponent's turn, Soul Blast 2, call this to an open rear guard circle. So 1, it has to be when the outer dress is retired, meaning it does not count itself. Meaning that it has to be under Garo or shield boy for that or Bruins for that to most likely happen unless you know your Garo, or unless your Braum just gets retired. So granted, it can be about attacker effect, but who cares? You still have to Soul Blast 2 to call it to rear guard. Why would you do that? Why on God's green earth would you do that? The only way I can think about that is that you use Trickstar as your starter and you Soul Blast it. Now you have an easier way to get a Trickstar back, except you had to have a Trickstar to begin with to put this into to put this unit in under an outer dress. So that doesn't make sense. You already have a Trickstar going back out there. What's the point of this? You're not reviving it twice unless you have an Amelia. Like, I don't know. That's the only thing I can see its purpose being, and I hate the fact that if that's really the case, that's its only purpose, because that's such a cool art, and I imagine it'd have more of a defensive skill than just that. It doesn't. If it had Intercept, maybe I'd consider running it. If it did, because I know some grade 1s have Intercept, but not worth it. No, not worth it. That's so disappointing. It's not worth it. I'm sorry, Bilskil. I loved you, but not fucking happening. Then we have Steel Wall equipped Bruins Vairina. The Thursday morning that I saw this, part of me died. Because I loved this thing. I loved it more than I like Garo in terms of art. So, even though I knew Garo was going to be like the important one, I was like, I really hope Bruins is really good too. Because I really want to use Bruins. Bruins is, in everyone else's eyes, is probably going to be really good. Me, I'm disappointed that this is what we got. So, grade 2 NSF 5k shield, 10k base, cross dress, 1 Trickstar, and 1 Prayer Dragon. You place it by stacking it on top of all the units. And you can put it to any rearguard circle, regardless of which one they were on. And then auto when it's placed on rearguard circle in the cross dress state. Choose a card with cross-dress ability from your drop zone other than himself, put it to hand. Okay, so you know the reason that you had to run this, immediately get rid of it, and then just replace it with this. This gets you the same thing, but for free. Or like half a card less, but like for free. So take that as you will. And then, so that's the fine ability. I mean, like, I don't like it, because, again, that's never been my issue, but it's not bad. It has saved me 1 discard from my ride deck discard since I've been using him, so it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. And then continues rear guard. If he's in the cross-dress straight, he cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. He gets plus 5k, and he gets plus 10k shield and active on both players' turns. So, we finally got the thing that everyone wanted, I think, or just any Vairina to do in general, which is be protected from the opponent's card effects. So everyone that says, like, oh, Nirvana cross will never be what Overdress was. Okay, one, remember, I will keep bringing this up till people stop saying it. Remember, original Overdress had 4 sets of support, and then they had this set give them some support. Granted, not good support that you probably run, but still support nonetheless. And they had festival collections. What do we have? We have this one set and anything generic that we've seen so far. So, the fact that we already have 3 cross-dresses, 3 cross-dresses, and they're all on more or less even scale, in my opinion, compared to the ones we already have. Because let's scale them up. Bruins Vairina versus Urger. Urger gets more power. This one I think we can all admit is more consistent than Urger, because like it can be protected by card effects, so they can't prison it, they can't retire it, etc. And while it doesn't have less power, it has the same shield. Let's see. There's OG Vairina versus I guess Garo. Same stats, same numbers. Difference is we go from a retire rear guard to a block 2 or more. Then there's Braum versus Valiente. Definitely gets more power unless you have 4 cards stacked under Valiente. And while yes, Valiente gets multi-attack with on hit, Braum is only a Soul Blast, not a Counter Blast, and a discard and nukes a column. I honestly say if we go Overdress for Overdress, card for card, if we compare them to what we can consider their OG versions, yeah, I think cross-dress card for card kind of like wins that argument. Not when we put the whole deck together, because again, remember, other support, but like card for card, I think cross-dress is better, but that's my opinion. So yeah, kind of disappointed in Bruins. I really wanted them to have like a boost in intercept ability for him, but they didn't, which sucks, but he's still good, so I run him out of 3 of in my deck. Then we have Performing Petal Diansa. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. I thought Lianor was kind of sad. I really did think Lianor was not that good. Because, like, I know I didn't run PGs in my Lianor deck, and I knew that was partially to blame, but I just genuinely think Lianor was not that good. And then this came along and proved me completely wrong. When placed on rear from hand, counter blast 1 if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, you can literally just call any grade 3 or lower unit from your drop zone to rear. It doesn't matter if it's a trigger, it doesn't matter if it's a normal unit, any grade 3 or lower in your drop zone, you get a free call as long as you're at grade 3. Why is this a skill? That's not even just like Lianor support. That is everything support. Doesn't fucking matter what grade 3 you're at. That's just a free card. So she's hitting the ban list next, right? Bushy, or like the restriction list next. Because I tell you what, in my Lianor deck, This one card made so much difference. Lianor went from like a losing streak to, or like having more losses than wins, to straight up going more wins than losses. It's lost one match since I put this in, and that was against Cross. So yeah, interesting. By the way, Cross Nirvana, not Cross the X. And then continues rear guard during your turn. If you have 2 or more grade 1 lower rear guards in your back row, gets +5. Cool. So it doesn't specifically have to be grade 1s, but it can if they wants it to be. 13k base booster. Really good. Nice card. Get you a unit. Get you power. Run this out of 4 in your Lianor deck. And, like, unless you count the new Lianor and you don't use Counterblast or the new order. So, yeah, 4 of Diansa. Really good card. Then we have Fireworks, Dying in the Night Sky, Palmyra, grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 9k base. Once you discard it from your hand during your turn, you may put it to soul. Okay, so we just stole the ability of the Dark States Ride Line discard fodder and then just put it here. Cool. It's fine. I don't think any decks particularly need this. If you end up running into a lyrical deck that needs soul, because maybe the new Ride Lines do need soul, maybe runner, but honestly, not going to run her at all. Now we have recruiting new members. Millicent, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, a 5k base, auto rear. Once you attack hits a Vanguard, choose up to 1 grade 2 or greater unit card from your drop zone, add it to hand. It says that because they know this is going to be abusable in some way, shape, or form with either new Ride Lines or Kari, and they know that you'll just be able to loop PGs back to hand with this. That's why it's like that. I'm willing to bet right now, if we were to ask whoever made this card, that is very obvious that they did this just to stop PGs looping, because there are a lot of good grade 2s, but they can't just stop it to grade 3s. So yeah, Millicent's good. I like her. She's nice on hit. Gets you combos for the following turn, so, or possible combos for this turn if you play it right with Kari. So, you know, 2 of maybe in a Kari deck just because of the 5k. Then we have a new order for Zorga. I did say that Zorga's the only nation, or like the only card I've noticed outside of Gravidia that hasn't gotten support, to my knowledge, in set 6 that I've paid attention to. That and Bastion, but Bastion gets any grade 3 support, so we'll argue that as we will. But Zorga finally got a card. In the Dark of Night, a Frozen Vendetta. Such an edgy sounding name. Grade 1 normal order, play it by Soul Blasting 1, look at top 3, choose 1 card from among them, discard it, and shuffle the rest back to deck, and then choose 1 card from your drop zone with a grade equal to or less than your Vanguard, call to rear guard. I don't know why they bother putting that. They all know we're just going to use this at grade 3. I mean, yeah, okay, there's such a thing as grade 1 rush with 2 prison dragons. I've done it to people before. I don't regret that decision at all. Anyone who's ever fought me during that time span, yeah, definitely hates me, but yeah, that's fair. So, pretty good. It gets you a card and drop, so if you don't have something in drop to call with that's used besides the Soul Blast, then at least you can call it, and it deck thins for the over. So, alright, Frozen Vendetta is pretty good. I honestly think this is better than Spiritual Body Condensation. Yeah, Condensation gives you 5k, but like Condensation outside of the Soul Blast doesn't really give you a target. This does, so if you don't have your ideal thing in drop, you have a possibility of seeing it. Again, my opinion, I think I'm right though, and everyone else is wrong. I'm currently joking, flipping off the camera right now. So yeah, Aura Frozen Vendetta is a nice grade 1 order. I think it's personally better than Spiritual Body Condensation, so I know I'm replacing it with that, but if you don't want to replace it with that, that's fair, so 2 of. Then we have Happy Dreaming Festa. God, I love how this order looks, but I don't think its skill is necessary for Lianor, especially when you add this thing into the mix. Grade 3 normal order, play it by counterblasting 1 if you have a Vanguard Lianor in its card name. Look at top 7, choose up to 2 grade 1 or less unit cards from among them, call into rearguard circle, and shuffle your deck. Okay. Here's my thing. I have not tested out the new Lianor yet, nor have I tested out this. But what I have tested out is that Lianor deck with that grade 1. That grade 1 makes the field spam so easy. Before, I was able to get 5 rear guards easily, but I'd lose out on a good chunk of hand cards. Now, I can do the same thing, except not lose out on a chunk of hand cards. Now, well, this kind of makes it better, because now I'm not losing any hand cards. My issue with it is, I already have, like, the perfect hand, the perfect setup on my board, and typically I never draw an order on my grade 3 turn anyways, for some reason. I don't know why this is with this deck. I just never draw a grade 3 order, or I never draw an order in general. I'll drive check it, but I won't draw it. So my issue with it is that after first grade 3 turn, I've never needed to call rear guards, ever. I've done it on 2 occasions. 1, because someone nuked my board, and then I was immediately able to get it back because she was here and was able to fix it within 5 seconds. And then 2, because, like, I just wanted to swap out a rear guard for something that was better for more power game for a final turn move. So, like, Festa, as much as I can see it being useful in the sense where if you're fighting against a field nuke deck, you will definitely need to replace your rear guards often, so that would be helpful. Honestly, you don't need this. You don't need this at all. Like, unless your locals or like everyone you know plays decks that retire your rear guards or like imprisons your stuff and you don't have the resources for whatever reason to get the units back, then I suggest playing Happy Festa. But if you know that you're not playing against those people, then don't run it, because I promise you do not need to. I get a board so easily, and if you nuke my board, I can get it right back without issues. So, 2 of Festa if you choose to run it, maybe as a 1 of tech. I'm honestly never going to run this because I don't need it. At that point, it just be there for deck thinning and nothing else. Then we have Grand March of Full Bloom Lianor. I have never been more disappointed in any of the evolutions as much as I've been disappointed in this one. Okay, before people get on to me about this, remember, I have my opinion on the evolutions. I believe evolutions are supposed to be, they can have similar skills, but they have to be skills on steroids in my opinion. Like, for example, Seraph Pure Light, if you compare it to Seraph Snow, has a continuous skill that works for everyone, can also get a crit, but then also can imprison 6 cards at once compared to 2. So, you know, Seraph Pure Light is just Seraph Snow on steroids, and the same goes for everyone else, especially Magnolia. But this one, all these evolutions, in my opinion, Bushy picked like the worst time to use these, because they just have the exact same main skill, which is very disappointing, because you'd imagine they make it better for the evolution. Like, even if it was only slightly better, it would still be better. And then they just gave them another skill which kind of helps with the deck, and then, but it's not like something flashy. Like, it's not something you would expect from an evolution skill. It's like the evolutions themselves were just meant to be alternate rides instead of the trial deck stuff. Like, you're not even meant to, you're either meant to use this or the ride lines from the trial decks, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to count these as evolutions, which is like kind of sad if that's the case. In my opinion, they're not evolutions, they're just meh, like other copies with different skills. Like, this is what the trial deck cards should have been, in my opinion, but they're not, so fair. So first up, we have Grand March of Full Bloom Lianor, grade 3 turns at Persona at 13k base. Active and once per turn by counterblasting 1, draw a card, choose a card from a hand, call to rearguard circle, or discard it. Okay, that's not a bad skill. It's not. It's a draw and call. I mean, granted, you have to call something, otherwise it goes to drop zone, but that's fun. You don't have to pick the card that you're drawing, so if you already have something better in hand, you can use that, and you can combo it with this thing by having it in hand, then call her. Again, my issue with it is that's something the OG should have had to begin with. I really do think all these evolutions with Youthberg, Lianor, and Dradjord, they all should have, their evolution skills should have been their original skills, and then the evolutions should still have the similar main skill, but of a better variety, like a better cost, or like, better benefits from doing it, and not just the exact same thing copy and pasted. Because if you notice for Lianor's second skill, it is just auto van when this unit attacks, soul blast 1, drop 1, and boost this unit with all your back row standing units with boost. And if you boost it with 3 or more units, this unit gets a +1 drive for the battle. At the end of the battle, choose 2 of your back or rear guards to stand them. I hate that so much. I really wish it was something different. I do genuinely wish Bushy had gone the route of the thing on steroids, which is why I think they rushed the evolutions in my mind. I really do think that they rushed the evolutions. I genuinely do think, like, the old ones are fine, but if they were just going to have these be their, the evolution skills, should have just been the original skills. I feel like I'm not the only one who thinks this. Again, now, I'm not saying any of them are bad. I'm just saying when you compare it to, like, the hype you would normally get from an evolution skill, obviously these do not cut the cake. Like, they're just sad. They're not on steroids, they're not anything special. It's just what they should have been. That's the disappointing part. They rush these evolutions, and that's the sad part. And now we have some more lyrical monastery reveals. First up, we have Aim for the Rainbow Theophania, grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 9k base. Auto when she intercepts, if you have more cards or damage zone than your opponent, you get +5, or you get +10k shield. So, bright side, if you are in the losing situation, she's a 15k shield. On the downside, if you end up pushing your opponent to 5 damage, and you're at 5 damage yourself, and you're defending with your life on this, this is kind of like a 50-50 card, because it's never gonna activate. So, like, if you're in the losing situation, it's good, but if you're tied to damage, it's like meh. So 2 of tech, because she's a really good 15k intercept at the very least. Then we have Attentive Chairman Shaznay, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, continues rearguard during your turn if your opponent's vanguards are greater than your plus 5k power. Cool. So the easiest 13k base ever to unlock. All you have to do is just wait for your opponent to be at grade 3. And if you're playing this with Kari, that's not really going to be a problem. Any other deck I could see it being a 50-50 problem, but honestly, Shaznay is a really nice grade 1. I like that skill. Very generic, very good though. Versus support for pretty much anyone. I give her a possible 2 of in any deck just because she's that good, in my opinion. Okay everyone, sorry for being late once again, but let's go ahead and finish off the final reveals. So first up, we have Lyrical Monasterio in
Favorite to you, Lingida. Auto rear when this unit boosts a great 3 or greater unit with a 14 its a great 3 or greater Vanguard with 14 its card name. Soul Blast 2, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, countercharge 1 ton of turn, grade 1 boost with 8k base, and the 5k shield. So, very interesting. To my memory, 4T doesn't use up that much soul. It kind of uses up a decent amount of counterblast, so being able to get a countercharge out of it is really nice. Not to mention the fact that, it gets it for the turn, so even if the first attack fails, it gets it for the second attack. And again, it seems this is grade 3 or greater Vanguard, so there's a possibility we're getting a grade 4 for Tia. So I don't know. I think it's a really good card for Tia. Maybe put it at a 3 or 4, just because countercharge is good. Then we have Boisterous High Tension, Roxella. Friend, continues rearguard. If you have another unit in the same column as it, she becomes friends with it. Auto rear, when this unit attacks a Vanguard. If you have 3 or more of their friends, this unit gets plus 5k power for into battle. And if you have 5 or more, choose one of your rearguards with the friend ability not in the same column as her, and you may return it to hand. So that's a really good thing to attack with at the end of the turn. Like, maybe you have to attack with the big swinger who becomes like a 30k swing on her own, because that way you can call PGs to your board. Actually, no, you can't call PGs to the board, but point is, like, you'd be able to bounce your stuff back to your hand, especially if you're playing against a nuke deck that would retire all your rear guards, so you can get back the important units and not have them be destroyed. Then again, it does say MA, so you don't have to use it if you don't want to. All around, it is definitely a decent ability. I like it. Go for support friends. I say a 2 of because you're not always going to want to use her, but she does help you protect your rear guard, so 2 of is a good number. Then we have Sealed Blaze Dragon Shabada. So grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base. Continues rearguard during your turn. If you have 2 or more arms on Vanguard, it gets plus 5. So it's a 15k base. That's pretty nice. And then auto drop when this unit is placed on rearguard. If you have Vanguard Sealed Blaze made in Battles of Gra, and its card name counterblast 1, call to rearguard. I wanted a new arm / a new Battles of Gra in our reveals, not this. Like, the 5k is fine, and the extra call, that's fine too, but for my memory of Battles of Gra, they can kind of spam out rear guards like there's no tomorrow, to the point where this doesn't really matter. Like, if you want to run this, go ahead, run it at like a 2 or 3, but me personally, outside of the art, I do not see any reason that we need this, because again, my Battles of Gra deck has never struggled with rear guards. But like, if you want to run it because maybe your Battles of Gra deck struggles with rear guards for whatever reason, put it at a 2 or 3 of. Then finally, we have the triple rare for Lianor, which is Congratulatory Performance Susuke. So auto rear, by the way, grade 1 boost 5k shield, 5k base actually. Auto rear when this unit boosts a Vanguard, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or greater or higher rear guards not being attacked, move to the guard circle, and if it cannot be moved, this unit gets plus 5 for the turn. So basically, if you're willing to use up another one of your souls, it gets another plus 5, or your opponent loses one of their interceptors / just one of their main units. Okay, now, well, that is not bad, because it gets rid of something important to your opponent without retiring it. So, like, things that just say they can't be retired, but said they can be chosen, definitely works. My issue with this is, it's just a 5k, and it costs a soul to use. If it didn't cost a soul, I would honestly feel a little bad that I recorded my Lianor deck before we got this, but considering the fact that it cost a soul, yeah, I don't feel bad. I think my Lianor deck is probably better off without this. They do not need this, but if you end up running into a bunch of occasions where your opponent has a really important unit on their board, you can quickly move it to the board with Susuke. So yeah, I don't know if you choose to run it, maybe a 1 over 2 of, but me personally, yeah, we ain't running this. And without further ado, that's going to end it off here. Again, sorry this was late, I woke up late, so hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and I'll see you all in this one. Don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.